I'm Linda Glickstein, and I'm from Philadelphia.
David Glickstein, Philadelphia.
So you've been traveling here in Cuba for about a week. Can you tell us briefly some of the places you've been traveling to within the country?
Well, the trip centered around Havana, Cienfuegos, and Santa Clara, and Trinidad. So those were the major cities around.
And when you told friends and family members you were going to go to Cuba, what was the reaction?
Wow.
Wow, they were so envious. They wanted to come also.
Really envious.
Well, you know, many Americans have an impression of Cuba based on what we hear. What have you discovered while you've been here that perhaps counters things you've learned, you've been told, you think most Americans probably think about Cuba?
For me, I think...
I'd say the amazing thing to me is how wealthy these plantation owners were with their slaves and growing up the sugar. So I always thought our American Southerners, with their huge plantations, were very wealthy. When I saw the mansions that are left over from the plantation days here, it's amazing to me.
And how does that manifest itself in what we see today in Cuba?
Well, you see, the mansions are still there. They're starting, obviously, need repair after the Soviets left. The infrastructure started collapsing. How is it different? I'm not sure. Really, you know, it's just that they're falling apart. But there was in the past a huge difference, and I think there still is between the different classes of people.
And can you say anything about some of the encounters you had with Cubans and how open they were?
Very friendly people. Very, no animosity, no hatred towards Americans. Absolutely none, even though the difficulties they have with getting the simplest things. I had a woman this morning ask me for my ballpoint pen, classic ballpoint pen. Yesterday, a woman came up and asked, Linda, do you have any hand lotion? It's just things that we take for granted because of this ridiculous embargo. They don't get it. But they're as happy as people I've ever seen in my life. Everywhere we go, there's music, incredible music.
Anything else you'd like to share for people who are contemplating Cuba or perhaps have this feeling of why would an American go to Cuba? Any parting words?
I just think it's a chance to see a different culture before it becomes all Americanized. Or at least today we were able to get into some stores and see the differences between things that were available for common people and people who were paid in CUCs, which is money.
The convertible peso.
Convertible money. And that there's so much more available to them. So I think it's a chance before it all becomes homogenous to get over here now and see what it was like.
See the old cars. You'll be amazed that most of the cars here, especially when you get out of Havana, are still 50s.
Right.
Well, thank you for coming on the trip and thank you for sharing with others your impressions.